KOAA.com and YouTube.com. I am joined by Jim Arthur, the voice of the Falcons, and we're talking about this football team. It's almost come down to a 3-week schedule to basically end out the year. They got to win 2 of the next 3 to come bowl eligible. And, boy, I think we were all shocked to the system as to what happened with Army. And I know they got to rebound, but it won't be easy against Wyoming this week.
You know, I don't think it will either. Although, on the other hand, I think coming off a loss like that, which was so shocking to Army, it's 2 ways you can go. You can kind of stay, into last week, or you turn it around and realize still what's out there for you. And there's still a lot. There's a path for them to get to the Mountain West championship game with a little bit of help, and if they sweep. So there's still a lot on the table.
You mentioned that because I think many of us are looking at 4 and 5 and thinking, boy, this is gloom and doom, but yet there's still an outside shot. They can make it. They could win the Mountain Division and make it to the Mountain West championship game. 2 of the next 3, you become bowl eligible. The Commander-in-Chief's trophy's out of their hands, but still plenty to play for this team. And if nothing else, a shock to the system. You now know what you can't do again, and you can't repeat it.
That's a great point I think you make, because they realized, okay, this was a big flub last week. We stubbed our toe, I think is what the fellas are saying right now. And I think as they look ahead, they say, okay, here's what's still in front of us, and, man, we can really make a run. And even Troy Calhoun has said, look, this team will play its best football at the end of the season because they're so young. Well, I think they're due, and especially off of last week.
You mentioned the Army game, and it was a stub of the toe, shock to the system, whatever you want to call it. It was simply just shocking, I think, is what happened. I know Army's gotten better, but to bottle up the Air Force offense the way they did, I'm afraid maybe that's a blueprint for other teams in the Mountain West to see, because they really made them one-dimensional and then zero-dimensional because they couldn't do anything on Saturday.
No, I think you're right to a point, but I think Air Force is also looking inwards a little bit now and saying, okay, what could we have done better? Yeah. Whether it be play calling, whether it be execution, whether it be, 3rd and 6 versus this play or maybe that play. So I think they're going to make some corrections as well. And so I think that was, and I think all Air Force fans are hoping that was kind of a one-off. That's going to happen, but it's done, and it's behind you right now.
They come back home. They've got Wyoming this week, and I think we've all read the press clippings about Josh Allen, and, boy, he does seem to fit everything that an NFL team wants in a future quarterback. Production-wise, he's been a little down, but Coach Calhoun, he's saying his praises, and a lot of other people are. How legitimate of a quarterback is he when you see him play on film?
Well, I think he's terrific, and the fact that he can hurt you so much with his legs and then throwing on the run, there's so many dimensions. So if you're Steve Russ, the defensive coordinator, do you have to put a linebacker kind of spying him? Yeah. Do you try to keep him in the pocket? Because he's a good pocket passer as well. I don't know if there's any poison you can pick where you go, okay, we got him where we want him right now. You have to put pressure on him. There's no doubt. He can't sit back there. You can't let him hurt you and get upfield and get a first down on a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. It's going to be a handful for Air Force, I think.
No doubt about it. We just hope that the Air Force defense plays like they did against Colorado State, less like they did with Army. 3 games to finish out the season. Air Force trying to close things out with a high note, get that bowl eligibility, maybe work their way into that Mountain West title game. Wouldn't that be something?
It really would, based on the season. And anything can happen. I mean, Fresno State came out of nowhere and was cruising along. They've been knocked back a couple of pegs now. So the last 3 weeks, there's a lot for everybody to play for.
Everybody wants to play well in November, and we're starting out. We'll see how they do. Jim Arthur, voice of the Falcons, joining me at KOAA.com.